My name is Chris. I'm 21 years old, and I'm a resident physician at County General. Second year of residency, emergency medicine. The kind of job where you work 80-hour weeks, sleep 4 hours a night, and still somehow find time to wonder if you've made a massive mistake with your life. I didn't, though. I love what I do. My apartment is 15 minutes from the hospital. Studio. Small. Clean. I'm barely there anyway. Most of my stuff is still at my parents' house, in my childhood bedroom. Photos on the walls. High school trophies. My old gaming setup. Mom always said she'd keep it exactly how I left it. Your room will always be here, sweetheart, she used to say. I believed her. I visit home maybe twice a month. Sometimes less, depending on my schedule. My parents live in Riverside Oaks, a nice suburb about 40 minutes away. Big houses. Good schools. The kind of neighborhood where everyone knows everyone and property values only go up. My sister Emily is 19. She's different from me. Dropped out of community college after one semester. Works part-time at a boutique. Still lives at home. She's been dating this guy Travis for about 6 months. He's 23, works at his uncle's car dealership, drives a leased BMW he can't afford. I don't say anything. Not my business. 2 weeks ago, Emily announced she was pregnant. Mom cried happy tears. Dad looked stunned but recovered quickly, shook Travis's hand, said something about doing the right thing. Travis grinned like he'd won something. I congratulated Emily. Hugged her. Asked if she needed anything. Just support, she said. You got it. I meant it. Despite everything, she's still my sister. Last Sunday, I had a rare day off. Drove to my parents' house for dinner. Mom made pot roast, my favorite. Dad was in a good mood, talking about his golf game. Emily and Travis were there, talking about baby names. Everything felt normal. Then Mom cleared her throat. Chris, honey, we need to talk to you about something. I looked up from my plate. Okay. Well, with the baby coming and Emily and Travis staying here for a while, we need to make some changes to the house. Makes sense, I said. You converting the guest room? Actually, Mom glanced at Dad. We're converting your room. I blinked. My room. Into a nursery, Emily added, smiling. Travis and I will take the master guest room, and the baby will be right next door to us in your old room. I set down my fork. Where will I sleep when I visit? Mom waved her hand. Oh, sweetheart, you're 21. You barely visit anyway. You have your own place now. But I still come home. I still have things there. We'll box everything up, Dad said. You can take it to your apartment. Structured narrative arc with character introduction, dialogue focus, and emotional tension development. My apartment is a studio. It's like 400 square feet. Mom smiled. Then you'll have to figure it out. You're an adult now. I stared at her. So I just don't have a room here anymore? Chris, don't be dramatic, Emily said. It's not like you live here. But it's my room. I grew up in that room. Travis leaned back in his chair, smirking. Dude, you're a doctor. Just get a bigger place. I looked at him. Really looked at him. This guy who'd been dating my sister for 6 months, who'd gotten her pregnant, who was now living rent-free in my parents' house, was telling me to get a bigger place. I'm a resident, I said slowly. I make $60,000 a year and work 80 hours a week. I can't just get a bigger place. Well, that's your choice, Mom said. You chose that career path. Something cold settled in my stomach. When are you doing this? I asked. Next weekend, Dad said. Travis's cousin runs a painting business. He's giving us a good deal. Next weekend. So I have a week to get my stuff out. We'll handle it, honey, Mom said. We'll pack everything nicely. I pushed back from the table. I need some air. Chris, don't be like this, Emily called after me. I walked outside, stood in the driveway, looked at the house I grew up in, the house where I'd studied for the MCAT at the kitchen table, where I'd opened my med school acceptance letter, where Mom had cried and said she was so proud of me. That house. My phone buzzed. Text from Mom. Please don't make this harder than it needs to be. We're doing what's best for the family. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I drove back to my apartment, sat on my bed, and started doing math in my head. Here's something nobody tells you about being a doctor. The money comes later. Much later. For years of undergrad. For years of med school. Now 3 to 7 years of residency, depending on your specialty. I'm in year 2 of 3 for emergency medicine. I'm $180,000 in debt from med school. I make $60,000 a year. After taxes, loan payments, rent, and basic expenses, I have maybe $800 a month left over. Not exactly rolling in cash. But here's the thing. I'm not stupid with money. During undergrad, I worked 3 jobs. I saved everything I could. Then, right before med school, my grandmother passed away. Left me $50,000 in her will. I didn't touch it. Put it in index funds. Watched it grow. During med school, I tutored on the side. MCAD prep, mostly. $100 an hour. I was good at it. Saved another $30,000 over 4 years. Then, first year of residency, I picked up extra shifts. Every single one I could. Nights, weekends, holidays. My attendings thought I was insane. You'll burn out, they warned. I didn't. I also started doing telemedicine consultations on my days off. $150 per session. Sometimes I'd do 6 in a day. My apartment was cheap because I didn't care where I lived. I didn't have a car payment because I drove a 2008 Honda Civic I bought cash. I didn't eat out. Didn't travel. Didn't date much. I just worked. And saved. By the time I was 21, sitting in my studio apartment after that dinner, I had $240,000 in liquid assets. Nobody knew this. Not my parents. Not Emily. Nobody. Because I didn't tell them. Why would I? Mom and Dad were comfortable, but not rich. Dad worked in insurance sales. Mom was a part-time bookkeeper. They'd helped me with undergrad, but couldn't afford med school, which is why I took loans. They were good parents. Supportive. Loving. Or so I thought. The next day, I called Mom. Hey, honey, she answered. Feeling better? I wanted to talk about the room situation. Chris, we already decided. I know. I just want to understand. Why can't Emily and Travis get their own place? Silence. They're saving money, Mom finally said. For what? For the baby. For their future. By living rent-free at your house. Chris, what is your problem? Why are you being so selfish? That word. Selfish. I'm selfish. I'm the one who worked my ass off through college and med school. I'm the one who's paying my own way. And Emily is the one who's about to have a baby. She needs our support. What about my support? What about keeping my room like you promised? Oh my God, Chris. It's just a room. Grow up. She hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, shaking. That evening, Emily called. Mom's upset, she said. Yeah, I gathered. Why are you making this so hard? We need that space. There's a whole guest room. We're using that for us. The baby needs to be close by. Em, you can't expect me to just. You're never even there. God. Chris, when was the last time you stayed over? 3 months ago. That's because I'm working. Exactly. You're working. You have your own life. Stop trying to control ours. I'm not trying to control anything. I just think it's reasonable to expect that my childhood home still has space for me. Your childhood is over. You're an adult. Act like it. She hung up too. I called Dad. Hey son, he said. Tired voice. Look, I know you're upset. Dad, can you please explain this to me? Why does my room have to be the nursery? Because it's the biggest bedroom besides the master. And it's on the same floor as the guest room where Emily and Travis will be. So convenience. Chris, we're trying to help your sister. What about helping me? You don't need help. You're a doctor. I'm a resident. I'm broke. You chose that path. Emily didn't choose to get pregnant. Actually, she kind of did. But I didn't say that. So that's it. Emily's choices mean I lose my space, but my choices mean I don't deserve support. That's not what I'm saying. Then what are you saying? He sighed. I'm saying you're being unreasonable. Your mother and I have made our decision. Please respect it. And if I don't, then I don't know what to tell you, son. We sat in silence for a moment. Dad, do you remember when I got into med school? Of course. You told me you were proud. That I was going to do great things. That you'd always be there for me. I am proud. And I am here for you. Doesn't feel like it. Chris. I hung up. Spent the next 2 days in a fog. Worked my shifts. Came home. Stared at the wall. On the 3rd day, I got a text from Emily. Mom and Dad hired movers to pack your room this Saturday. You should come get anything important before then. Not, do you want to come get your things? Not, is this okay with you? Just a notification. Like I was being evicted. I drove over that evening. Let myself in with my key. The house was empty. Everyone out somewhere. I walked upstairs to my room. It looked exactly how I'd left it. Bedmate. Posters on the walls. My old desk where I'd studied for countless exams. On the desk was a folder. I opened it. Paint swatches. Furniture catalogs. A nursery design plan. Emily had labeled it, Baby's Room Ideas. She'd already picked out everything. Yellow walls. White crib. Star decals. She'd erased me before I was even gone. I sat on my bed, looked around, and I made a decision. I pulled out my phone and called my financial advisor. Yeah, I have a financial advisor. Had one since I was 19. Set it up with some of my grandmother's money. Best decision I ever made. Chris, she answered. What's up? Sarah, I need to know how much liquid cash I can access in the next 72 hours. Pause. That's specific. What's going on? Family thing. How much? I heard typing. You have $240,000 in your brokerage account. I can liquidate the positions and have funds available by tomorrow afternoon. There'll be some tax implications. Do it. Chris, are you sure? You've been building this portfolio for. I'm sure. I also need you to recommend a good real estate agent. Someone who moves fast. More typing. Okay. I'll text you a contact. Chris, what are you doing? Something I should have done a long time ago. I hung up. Then I did something crazy. I went on Zillow. My parents' neighborhood, Riverside Oaks, is expensive. Houses average $600,000 to $900,000. They bought theirs 15 years ago for $380,000, now worth about $650,000. I filtered for available properties within a quarter mile of their address. There were three. One was $720,000. Too much. One was $890,000. Way too much. The third was $634,000. A foreclosure. For bed, 3-bath. Needs work, but structurally sound according to the listing. 2 houses down from my parents. Right there. Same street. I called the real estate agent Sarah had recommended. This is Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Sarah Mitchell referred me. I want to make an offer on a property. Today. Okay, which property? I gave her the address. The foreclosure on Oak Drive? That's been sitting for a while. Needs a lot of work. I don't care. I want to offer asking price. All cash. Close in 2 weeks. Silence. Mr. Chris. And I'm serious. I can have proof of funds by tomorrow. Chris, I have to ask. Have you seen this property in person? No. Don't you want to do an inspection? I'll do an inspection for informational purposes only. Not contingent on the sale. I want this locked down. This is highly unusual. I'm a highly unusual buyer. Can you make it happen or not? Ah, yes. I can make it happen. Good. Send me the paperwork. I hung up. Then I sat in my childhood bedroom and smiled. The next morning, I submitted the offer. All cash. $634,000. No contingencies except a basic inspection. The bank that owned the foreclosure accepted within 6 hours. I texted my parents. Got the message about the movers. I'll come by Saturday to get my stuff. Thanks for the heads up. Mom replied. Thank you for understanding, honey. This means a lot to us. I didn't respond. Saturday came. I showed up at 9 a.m. with a U-Haul. Mom was surprised. Honey, you didn't have to get a whole truck. We would have helped you move. It's fine. I got it. Dad came out. Need help loading? Nope. I went upstairs. Started packing. Emily appeared in the doorway. Wow, you actually came. Yep. Travis and I really appreciate this, you know. This is going to be perfect for the baby. I taped up a box. I'm sure it will. You're not mad anymore? I looked at her. Really looked at her. My little sister. Who I'd tutored through high school algebra. Who I'd driven to parties and waited outside to make sure she got home safe. Who I'd lent money to when she was short on rent for her campus apartment. Who was now taking my room and acting like I was the problem. No, I said. I'm not mad. Good. Because Mom said you were being really difficult. Did she? Yeah. But I told her you'd come around. You always do. I turned back to my packing. She left. It took me 4 hours to pack everything. My whole childhood in boxes. I loaded the truck. Mom and Dad stood in the driveway, watching. Where are you going to put all this? Mom asked. I'll figure it out. Your apartment is so small, honey. I know. Dad stepped forward. Chris, look. I know this has been hard. But this is the right thing for the family. For your family, I said. You're part of this family. Am I? He frowned. What's that supposed to mean? I closed the truck. Nothing. Thanks for everything. I drove away. Didn't look back. The closing was scheduled for 2 weeks later. I spent that time working, sleeping, and planning. I researched contractors. Got quotes for renovations. Designed a backyard pool. My colleagues thought I was nuts. You bought a house? One of my fellow residents asked. How? Saved money. But you're never home. Why do you need a house? I don't need it. I want it. The day of closing came. I signed the papers. Wired the money. Got the keys. The house was mine. I didn't tell my parents. Not yet. I moved in on a Tuesday. The house was rough. Needed paint, new floors, updated kitchen. But it was solid. Good bones, the inspector had said. I hired contractors immediately. Rush job. Paid extra for speed. What's your timeline? The foreman asked. 2 weeks for essentials. 4 weeks for everything else. That's aggressive. I'll pay for aggressive. They started the next day. I also hired a pool company. You want a heated pool installed in 4 weeks? The guy asked, laughing. Yes. That's impossible. I'll pay double. He stopped laughing. I'll see what I can do. Then I called a security company. I need a comprehensive camera system. Interior and exterior. Focus on the backyard and front yard. Sure, how many cameras? As many as it takes. I want every angle covered. Okay. Any specific requirements? Yeah. I want cameras facing my neighbor's property. Legal distance, obviously. But I want clear views. The tech paused. That's unusual. Is it legal? If they're on your property and pointed at areas visible from public spaces, yes. Then do it. The construction noise started immediately. Saws. Hammers. The constant beep of trucks backing up. I was at work most of the time, but I got reports. Progress photos. Updates. On the 3rd day, I got a call from an unknown number. Hello. Chris? It's Dad. Hey. What is going on? There are construction trucks all over the street. Neighbors are complaining. About what? The noise. Someone bought the foreclosure and is doing massive renovations. Do you know anything about this? I smiled. Actually, yeah. I bought it. Silence. You what? I bought the house. 2 doors down from you. Closed last week. You how? Saved money. You know, from that career path I chose. Chris, this isn't funny. I'm not joking. I own it. Check the county records if you don't believe me. Why would you do this? You told me to figure it out. I figured it out. This is insane. You can't afford a house. Apparently I can. Paid cash. I heard Mom in the background. Is that Chris? What's he saying? Dad's muffled voice. He bought the foreclosure. Mom's shriek was loud enough to hear clearly. Dad came back on. Your mother wants to talk to you. I'm at work. Gotta go. I hung up. 3 minutes later, Emily called. What, Chris? Language. You're about to be a mother. You bought a house? On our street. 2 houses away, actually. Are you insane? Probably. Look, I'm in the middle of a shift. Can we talk later? No. We need to talk now. Why would you do this? You said I needed to grow up and act like an adult. Adults buy houses. Not houses right next to their parents. Why not? It's a nice neighborhood. Good schools. You said so yourself. Chris, this is creepy. Is it? Or is it just convenient? Now I can visit any time I want. This is manipulative. How? I bought a house in a neighborhood I like. What's manipulative about that? She sputtered. Hung up. I went back to work. The renovations continued. The pool installation began. I made a point of being there on my days off. Waved to neighbors. Introduced myself. Chris? You're the Henderson's son? One neighbor asked. Yep. Bought the foreclosure. Fixing it up. Oh, how nice. Your parents must be thrilled to have you so close. I smiled. They're certainly surprised. Mom showed up at the house on week 2. I was overseeing the pool tile installation when I heard her car. Chris, she called. I walked to the front yard. Hey, Mom. She looked at the house. At the construction. At the pool being dug in the backyard. What have you done? Bought a house. We covered this. This is ridiculous. You can't afford this. Already bought it. So I guess I can. How? Where did you get the money? Saved it. Invested it. You know, responsible adult stuff. Her face was red. This is a statement. A childish, petty statement. What statement would that be? You're trying to make us feel guilty. I laughed. Mom, I bought a house I can afford in a neighborhood I like. How is that about you? Because you're doing this to punish us. For the room. The room? Mom, I'm over the room. You made your choice. I made mine. This is excessive. Is it? You told me to figure it out. I figured it out. She pointed at the pool. You're putting in a pool? A heated pool. Yep. Always wanted one. This is insane. It's my property. I can do what I want. What about the cameras? The neighbors said you have cameras everywhere. Security system. Standard stuff. Pointed at our house. Pointed at my property lines. Which happened to include views of the street. Again, perfectly legal. She was shaking. You're doing this to spy on us. Why would I spy on you? I don't care what you do. Then why the cameras? I shrugged. Safety. You know how important security is. She stared at me. I don't even know who you are anymore. Sure you do. I'm the kid who worked 3 jobs through college, who took every extra shift available, who saved every penny. I'm exactly who I've always been. You've changed. No, you just didn't notice who I was before. She turned and left. That evening, Dad came over. Chris, we need to talk. Come in. Want a tour? He didn't move. This needs to stop. What needs to stop? This, whatever you're doing. This revenge plot. It's not revenge. It's real estate. You're making your mother upset. I'm renovating my house. How is that about her? Because you bought it to spite us. I crossed my arms. Dad, let me ask you something. If I bought a house across town, would you care? That's different. How? Because you wouldn't be throwing it in our faces. I'm not throwing anything. I'm living my life. On my property. The pool, Chris. The cameras. You're doing this to make a point. What point? He didn't answer. I'll tell you what point I'm making, I said. I'm making the point that I don't need you. That I'm fine on my own. That when you decided my room wasn't important, I didn't fall apart. I adapted. By buying a house out of spite. By buying a house because I wanted one. Your interpretation is your problem. He shook his head. This is going to ruin our relationship. Dad, you ruined our relationship when you chose Emily's convenience over my belonging. I'm just living with the consequences. She's pregnant. She needed help, and I needed my family to keep their promises. We all need things. Difference is, I'm handling my needs myself now. He left. The pool was finished 3 weeks later. Heated. Salt water. Beautiful blue tiles. I threw a pool party. Invited my colleagues. Posted photos on social media. Made sure I was tagged at the address. That night, I got a text from Emily. Really? A pool party? You're pathetic. I didn't respond. The next morning, I made coffee. Put on my swim trunks. Went out to the pool. It was a beautiful day. Sunny. Warm. I dove in. Swam a few laps. Got out. Laid on a lounge chair. And waved at my parents' house. Dad was in the window. Watching. I smiled. Waved again. He closed the curtain. 3 weeks after I moved in, Emily went into labor. Mom texted me. Emily's having the baby. We're at County General. County General. My hospital. I was on shift. I texted back. Congratulations. Hope everything goes well. She replied. Aren't you coming? I'm working. Chris, this is your niece. I know. I'll meet her when I can. I didn't go to the maternity ward. Stayed in the ER. Did my job. 6 hours later, Mom found me. Chris. I looked up from a chart. Hey, how is she? Emily's fine. Baby's fine. A girl. 7 pounds, 4 ounces. That's great. Name. Olivia. Pretty name. Mom stared at me. You're really not coming up? I'm on shift for another 4 hours. You could take a break. I could, but I won't. She's your sister, Chris. I know. Don't you care? I set down the chart. Mom, I'm happy Emily had a healthy baby. I genuinely am. But I'm not going to pretend we're one big happy family when we're not. We are a family, are we? Because families don't usually kick their kids out for convenience. We didn't kick you out. We just needed the space. Right? And I needed a room. But my needs didn't matter. Her eyes filled with tears. How long are you going to punish us for this? I'm not punishing anyone. I'm just living my life. By throwing your success in our faces. I laughed. My success. Mom, I'm a resident. I work 80-hour weeks making less than a teacher. The only reason I could buy that house is because I saved every penny for years while you guys spent money on Emily's whims. That's not success. That's sacrifice. We never asked you to sacrifice. You never had to. I did it because I wanted to. Because I thought family meant supporting each other. Turns out it only means supporting the people who make convenient choices. That's not fair. No, it's not. But it's true. She wiped her eyes. What do you want from us, Chris? Nothing. I don't want anything anymore. That's the point. So we just what? Stop being a family. We'll be whatever you make of it. But I'm done begging for basic respect. She left crying. I finished my shift. Went home. Swam in my pool. A week later, Dad showed up. Can we talk? He asked. Sure. We sat by the pool. He looked tired. Your mother's devastated. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? I thought about it. Honestly, yes and no. I'm sorry she's upset. I'm not sorry for what I'm doing. Chris, what do you want? An apology? I don't want anything, Dad. That's what nobody seems to get. I'm not doing this to punish you or to get something from you. I'm doing this because I'm done waiting for you to treat me like I matter. You do matter. Then why was it so easy to give away my room? Why didn't anyone think about what that meant to me? He was quiet. I'll tell you why, I said. Because Emily's problems are immediate, visible, loud, and I'm just steady, reliable. I don't complain. I don't ask for help. So you figured I'd be fine. That's not. It is. You know it is. And here's the thing. You were right. I am fine. I figured it out. Just like you told me to. Not like this. Exactly like this. You wanted me to be an independent adult who handles his own problems? Well, I bought a house. I'm building a life. I don't need a room at your place anymore. But the cameras, the pool, the proximity are my choices. On my property. With my money. He rubbed his face. This is destroying our family. No, Dad. You destroyed our family when you decided my belonging was negotiable. I'm just refusing to pretend it didn't happen. We sat in silence. Finally, he stood. I don't know how to fix this. Maybe you can't. He left. I haven't spoken to them since. Emily posts photos of Olivia constantly. The nursery, my old room, looks exactly like she planned. Yellow walls, white crib, stars on the ceiling. I don't comment. My colleagues ask about my family sometimes. We're not close. I say. They don't push. I've been in the house for 3 months now. The renovations are done. It looks amazing. I swim every morning before work. Wave at the neighbors. Live my life. Sometimes I see my parents' car in their driveway. Sometimes I see Emily loading the baby into Travis's BMW. I don't wave anymore. Don't acknowledge them. They don't acknowledge me either. The cameras capture everything, though, just in case. People ask me if I regret it. The house. The money. The burned bridges. I don't. Because here's what I learned. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes family isn't enough. Sometimes you have to choose yourself. They chose Emily's comfort over my belonging. I chose my dignity over their approval. And honestly, I sleep better now. In my own house. On my own terms. Mom was right about one thing. I did grow up. Just not the way she wanted. The moral of this story? Family is supposed to be a safety net, not a hierarchy. When someone shows you that you're expendable, believe them. And then build a life where you don't need them to validate your worth. I don't regret buying that house. I regret that I had to.